Hello everyone, my name is Farinaldo. I'm the organizer of this school. So that's my first video to all of you who are not Brazilians. So that's why I'm speaking English. That's the presentation I've used for the Brazilians, and I'm gonna use the same to you. The only difference that I'll be speaking English, and I will try to be as clear as possible, okay? Sorry, I'm not speaking Spanish. My Spanish is terrible. My English is not as bad. So first, I'd like to give you an introduction to me. So I'm the group leader of the Particle and Astroparticle Physics group at the International Institute of Physics in Natal. And I arrived in Brazil about 2 years ago. After a while, I graduated from Brazil. I got my PhD jointly from Federal University of Paraíba, which is about 2 hours driving from here, from Natal, and from Fermilab. And then from there, I went to a postdoc in California, and from this postdoc in California at the University of Santa Cruz, University of California, Santa Cruz, I went to a second postdoc at the Max Planck Institute in Heidelberg. And after that, then I came and joined IIP as a professor and group leader. So my purpose, one of the goals of this school is to not just to give you some feedback and information about the courses in physics and how you can pursue a career in physics, is also to give you some guidance regarding how to do a postgraduate program, how to be admitted to a postgraduate program in Brazil, especially if you're interested in one of these areas as particle physics, also particle physics, cosmology, and fields. So I'll try to be as clear as possible since the slides are in Portuguese. I'm sorry, but time is short at these times. So one of the ways will be through this unified exam. So hopefully you have seen already the 2 videos I asked the students, Sarah and Johan, to present to you. Hopefully you've watched them before seeing this video, where they'll be much more detailed about the things you should do as a Latin American student outside from Brazil, the things that you need to pass through in order to enter Brazil and be admitted into a PhD or master's program. So you should, maybe I'll give this video, maybe you'll somehow complement whatever they said, and you have to either enter this process in Brazil via two methods. One is through this unified exam where everybody has to take. Well, everybody, if you want to join one of the universities that I'm gonna show you, or you can just go there directly to the university which you are interested in and then apply, okay? So for this unified exam, so when you access that page, it's gonna open up that website, and after opening up this website, you scroll down, and then you see this edital, which is a call for these postgraduate programs. And you see a list of all the universities inside this edital. You're gonna find a list of all universities which require this unified exam. So that's the list. So if you wanna go to one of these universities, which are very good in general, you have to pass through this, okay? And this is important that the unified exams can be taken abroad. So you don't have to come to Brazil to take this exam, which would be nonsense. So that's the list of universities. Then I'm gonna give you some tour of how you should really do this in practice. Skipping through 3 different universities. One is UFRN, that's where I am. So if you wanted to be admitted to the postgraduate program at the University of Federal Rio Grande do Norte, that's what you should do, okay? There's no other way. So either if you wanna go to be working at the International Institute of Physics, where I am, or to the physics department, you have to do the same thing, okay? So there's just one postgraduate program. That's one thing that you should be clear. There are not 2 postgraduate programs in Natal. There is just one. The difference that there are professors who are at the International Institute of Physics and there are professors who are at the physics department. Okay, that's the only difference. But you have to go through the same path. So you access that page, which is postgraduate in physics. And then once you click there, then you're gonna see these calls. These calls are there, you can just read it or translate them somehow. And then you're gonna find all the necessary information. What's gonna be included in that edit count, I'm gonna go through that just in a few seconds. So, but before that, I wanna show you another example of a different university, which is much larger than the one where I am, which is called Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul. So at that university, I want to talk about the specific one because there's very particular detail that you should be aware of. Very few people cover that. So in the announcement of this school, I said that you wouldn't find this material anywhere else. And well, what I can say for sure is that I've never seen this in my life. Someone in the school providing all this information for you guys to easy your life, okay? So once you're there, you Google physics. What you have to do in Portuguese. Some of these schools, Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul, most likely there's an English page, but most of them, they don't, okay? So you have to really search in Portuguese, physics, which would be Física, Pos-Graduation, which is postgraduate program, and then you do that when you open that page. When you open that page, you go to that link, which is a print screen of my laptop, where you go there, post-graduation, and then you go physics, and when you click on physics, you open up that page. Once you open up that page, you're gonna go there, and then you see there's a master's program on the corner, left corner, and then postgraduate in the right corner. In the middle, there is doctorate, the PG program. So yes, you can see there are result of the admission for January, for March, April, May, August. And then this university in particular is different from most of the universities in Brazil because they are the calls they are quite often. Most of the universities in Brazil have two calls a year, so it's not just as continuous as this one. So you can, even if you apply for a university in Brazil for a given call, don't be so sad. For instance, this university is one of the examples where you can apply shortly after for another call, okay? So in Brazil, they are cheap. One thing you should be aware of is that once you take this unified exam, is valid for most of the time for up to 2 years. So let's say that you apply for a given university of your choice and you do not get admitted. And no worry, you can use the same grade you got. You don't need to take the exam again and then try again next semester. So that's a very good advantage. For instance, the University of Rio Grande do Norte, I know that they accept this grade for up to 2 years. So the other universities for up to 1 year, most of them for up to 1 year. So you don't need to take the exam twice. And you should also be aware that in Brazil, these calls, for instance, let's say the universities that have 2 calls, one of them usually is quite tough to get in. I know for some reason there's a very, in the beginning of the year, it's quite competitive to get in because usually people graduate from the bachelor at the end of the year, and then the year following that, then the competition is quite severe. So sometimes it happens also that the very competitive semester is the second semester. So don't get so upset if you don't get admitted in the very first try. So you can try in the next semester. So one thing I wanted to point out is that at this thing where I highlighted with a red circle, is that not quite a circle, right? So which I highlighted in red is that there is an edital extraordinário, which is an extraordinary call, okay, for master's degree. So this thing happens, well, it's extraordinary, so it doesn't happen so often. And that's not particular just to this university. Other universities have the same thing. So what is this? This is that, as I told you, these universities, for instance, these two, Federal University of Rio Grande do Norte and Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul, they require the national exam, the unified exam in physics, right? So what happened is most of the universities, they require a minimal grade. So if they have 10 fellowships to fund you for 2 years, which is master's degree, they'll fund you for 2 years. So they'll give you a stipend for 2 years, okay? So let's say they have 10 available, and then only 8 of these people had the minimal, the cutoff grade. So what happens is they have 2 fellowships left over. So what happens is, instead of waiting for the next semester or for the next call, what they do is just make a call immediately after, saying, we have an extraordinary call. Please, students, those who have not applied for this university before, please consider, because we have 2 fellowships left. But remember, the cutoff grade is 3.5. So if I was interested in applying there, but I didn't at the end of the day, but then I was not accepted in the university I wanted to, and then once I see this call, say I might revisit my decision and then decide to apply there. So that's one possibility. But you might ask me, well, Fernando, how am I going to know you're going to have this editorial like this? Well, you have to check each university individually. Oftentimes, pay attention, oftentimes, not always, oftentimes, the Brazilian Physical Society has a website with, they call bulletins, with news about opportunities in Brazil. You can access this Brazilian Physical Society website and check the news. Some of the universities, not most of them, some of the universities, they do advertise these calls at the Brazilian Physical Society website. Not all of them, not even the majority, I think. Okay, so that's one thing. So now I'm going to take a university which does not require the unified exam in physics, which is Federal University of Ceará, which is not that far from here. Let's say 7 hours from driving from Natal. So when you go, Ceará, physics, and then you find this page, you go to the postgraduate program, you find that page. And once you open up that page, you're gonna see right there a call for a postgraduate program in physics. Once you click that thing, that's why I'm gonna talk now about what's inside that call. So inside that call, which will be similar for basically all universities in the country, federal universities in the country, you're gonna see the number of fellowships they have for master's and PG programs. And then once you scroll down, and then you see there they require, you see there the diploma. You won't find this information in English, unfortunately, or in Spanish. You're gonna have to read it in Portuguese and translate somehow if you can't read it in Portuguese. But I'm sure if you're a Spanish speaker, you at least can read for sure. Right? So, so you see the diploma there, and then they ask the historical. This is like your CV, right? So it's your tracking record at the university. So they need to know. So they need these 2 documents: the tracking record and also your degree. So I should give you some information which is very important. In universities, it's quite common for the universities to delay a lot the process of finishing up their diploma. So for instance, for me, it took almost, you're gonna be surprised for sure, but it took me, the university took 2 years to hand me my diploma. So knowing that the Brazilian universities do not require the diploma, physically speaking, they also at least require you to have a document from the university official saying that you have concluded your bachelor degree or your master's degree if you're trying to pursue a PhD. So you just need something that certificates that you have finished whatever you had to finish. Okay? You don't have precisely your diploma in hand. You don't need to. Okay? So that's basically it, what I had to say. So one thing I should also tell you, for you who are foreigners, foreigners. In Brazil, we have a system for the CV of the professors, which is called LATS, LATTES. So if you go there, then you can find the CV of all Brazilian professors. So if you're trying to join a group, specifically speaking, you just search there, you're gonna find the profile, the CV, the complete information of all the professors. So this is a requirement, we should do it. So there is no way around it. So you're gonna find it for sure. What might happen in some cases, for instance, if you search for Antonio, he's a very common name in Brazil, and or if you search for Carlos, then you find lots of them. But if you search for something like Farinaldo, there'll be just one. Okay, so then you just have to search and try to find the right person. But that's what I had to say. Oh, one thing that you should remind, okay, is that I would like to remind is that it's not important. The most important thing is not the university itself that you're trying to enter, you're trying to join as a student or postgraduate, okay, in any degree, a master or PhD. The most important thing is which group are you going to, okay? The group that you're going to is way more further, I mean, way more important than the university itself, okay? So keep that in mind, and I wish you luck at the school, and I wish you all the best. It was nice seeing you all for the first time. Bye.